Hello chess friends. So in this video I shall be looking at some of the chess questions that you guys have asked me. So without any further ado, let's get started. So here we have our first question is from David, and David asks what would be a good ending book for an intermediate player, and a follow-up would be what ending should I concentrate on to start. Well, there are a few books I would recommend going through. The first one is obviously Jeremy Silverman's Endgame Course. That's an excellent chess book. You should go through it because it covers right from the very basics to the very advanced level, and I think that's a really good books to start with. Second one would be 100 Endgames You Must Know by De La Vella. I think that also covers a wide range of topics with the best methods, and they have explained the best methods and best techniques you can learn. So and after that, I think the correct follow-up would be to go through the Dorosky's Endgame Manual. So these are my three recommendations. First one, Jeremy Silverman's Endgame Course. Second is 100 Endgames You Must Know by De La Vella. And the third one is obviously Dorosky's Endgame Manual. So what endgame should I concentrate on to start? Well, I would suggest what are the most common endgames? One of the most common endgames we reach is king and pawn endgame as well as rook endgames because they're super common. In most of the cases, those are the endgames we reach. So I think starting with king and pawn endgame as well as rook endgames because rook endgames are really complex. You take a lifetime to learn them, and there's still a lot of material over there. So I think go through king and pawn endgames and rook endgames. That would be more or less enough because those are the endgames that most commonly occur in our games. So let's take the next question now. So here is the second question. Imagine playing a blitz with low time and having a bishop and knight. Your opponent offers a draw. What do you do in such a situation? Well, I have memorized the bishop and knight endgame, so I can do it with very few seconds on the clock. But if you haven't memorized it, I think the best thing to do in this situation is to be practical. For example, if you have 10 seconds on your clock, best is to agree to a draw, maybe sack your pieces, maybe just offer a draw or accept a draw if your opponent offers it, because that's the best practical solution. And definitely the next thing you're gonna do is you have to practice knight and bishop endgames. Practice it with really low time or practice it against other players. Just give yourself few seconds, for example 10 seconds, 12 seconds on the clock, and try to achieve it in minimum amount of time as a practice weapon. But you basically have to know it at some point. You will face a knight and bishop endgame, and it will be a great idea to convert. So you should know those endgames. But generally, if you're not memorizing it, if you haven't memorized it, I would suggest make it draw at that point, then go home and study those end games. And in the next game, you should definitely come and win and gain the full point. So hope you enjoyed this session. I shall be answering more of your questions in the next session. So do comment, and until next time, bye.